It is that time of the week again, my friends. Welcome back to the Outdoor Report. Trey Reid with Arkansas Game and Fish back with us. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
I'm doing well. Good to see you, sir.
Absolutely, man. So last time we had talked, it was right after that emergency declaration that the AGFC had made on catch and release. We know how important trout fishing is here in the state.
Absolutely.
Week later, how we doing? Kind of some updates folks need to know.
Yeah, there's been a lot of questions, naturally, so it's great to have an opportunity to talk about it again. You know, if you haven't heard, last week at the monthly meeting of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, an emergency regulation concerning trout fishing on our 4 major tailwaters: Beaver, Greers Ferry, Bull Shoals, and North Fork is what we're talking about. Not to get too deep in the weeds, but you got to remember the trout are not native to Arkansas, so they have to be grown in a hatchery and stocked. Now, we do have some wild reproduction of brown trout on the Little Red River, possibly a little bit of natural reproduction, but mostly it's a put and take fishery. The trout are grown in a hatchery. Well, so when the dams were built back in the mid 20th century, as mitigation for loss of our warm water fisheries, they built these federal hatcheries, North Fork and Greers Ferry, for instance. There's another one at Mammoth Spring, and to grow trout to stock in these cold water releases from the dam. And it's created an amazing fishery, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
The problem is that the North Fork National Fish Hatchery, which is the largest trout hatchery in the country, man, they have had catastrophic losses of fish. I mean, like 90% of the fish that they would normally have on station right there are dead, gone. You know, so that is hugely influences the amount of fish that Game and Fish can stock. Now, we do grow fish at our own state-owned hatchery over on Spring River at Mammoth Spring, but that hatchery got hammered by a flood on Spring River back in April, so it's at about 50%. So it's kind of a double whammy, perfect storm, however you want to refer to it. For the foreseeable future, for several months, we are not going to have, we're probably less than 50% of the trout we normally stock during that time frame will we be able to stock. A lot of ripple effects to talk about there, but in order to, so the question, Hayden, is like, so you've got, if people are going out and fishing and taking these fish, with fewer fish stock, there's going to be fewer fish for people to catch, and at some point in the very near future, fishing experiences are going to just go way down.
There's a ripple effect.
Even for people who catch and release, you know, I mean, they're not going to catch much, you know, and so we're trying to maintain a balance between providing the opportunity, still stocking the fish that we can, but in order to do that, we've implemented catch and release only on the Bull Shoals tailwater from the dam down to the confluence of the North Fork tailwater. North Fork's only 5 miles, but from the dam down to the confluence with the White, it is catch and release only. And then beyond, downstream on the White, a 2-fish daily limit with some size restrictions, and also a 2-fish daily limit with size restrictions on the Beaver tailwater and the Little Red River or the Greers Ferry tailwater. So we're kind of lucky. It's the time of year when you don't have a lot as much fishing activity in November, December, January as you will next spring and summer. This would different conversation if this happened in March. You know, so
let's talk short term. Let's talk a little better news, shall we? Because for the youth out there, I know you may not be watching early in the morning, but let me tell you right now, you may be out in the woods pretty soon because it's happening next weekend.
Youth hunt, modern gun deer season.
That's exciting.
Our modern gun season is next weekend, so November 1st and 2nd for kids between the ages of 6 and 15. That's the rule for deer hunting in Arkansas as far as youth go. But yeah, nothing has really changed. Same rules and regulations. You know, if a kid is past hunter's ed, they can hunt on their own. If not, they must be under the direct supervision of an adult mentor.
Gotcha.
You know, and I think most deer hunters know that. But one thing I do want to talk about related to the youth hunt, still kind of new, and you got a week to prepare for this, but look, if you don't use that Game and Fish app, I highly encourage you to download that, update it if you do use it. But youth need deer tags now.
They do.
They are free. You don't have to buy a license for your youth. You don't need a license until you're 16 years old. But youth need to check their deer. Now, obviously, dad, mom, grandpa, grandma, and uncle can check the deer for them. And we actually have if you use the app, the Game and Fish app on a smartphone, you can link a youth account to your adult account.
Oh, easy enough,
essentially, look, you just need to go into the license portal, click on buy, you're not really buying anything, and select youth deer tags. And if your youth does not have an account, you'll need to set that up there. If they do, make sure you sign, it'll prompt you sign in under the youth account, not your adult account, and then it'll download their deer tags where you can use them in the field with the smartphone app, whether you check on the phone, at agfc.com or on the app, you'll have everything you need.
It's so easy too on the app. Thanks again, brother. Really appreciate it. All this great stuff, thv11.com, agfc.com. We will see you next week on the Outdoor Report.